Well, still here. No, I just finished lunch after breakfast. Hot coffee. And I've been watching the YouTube channel and all those other interesting channels. And the people who are really interesting are the older folks who've been around for a long time, not the young Turks. And there's a lady who's really connected, and she has a book out called Connecting the Dots. Right? So if you Google Connecting the Dots, UFO book, probably come up. And it's about George Adamski and all the Venusians who kind of visited us in the 50s. You know, like my friend Dirk Dorge, you know, Val, whatever his name was. Anyway, and that's the guy Val came in the 50s. And that's where they got the story of the day the earth stood still. And basically, he said, listen, guys, you know, you have a choice. You can either keep going the way you're going, being a tribe of war, and you're no longer hitting each other over the head with clubs, you know. You got hydrogen bombs, which are dimensional weapons, you know. And that's why we're putting a little cage around you guys. And the French detonated over 600 hydrogen bombs because they were screwing around with all kinds of demonic dimensional little doorways. And if you were to go Google these kind of things, like, you know, we're kept in a box of separation. You go to a university and everyone's a scholastic, everyone's in their box. Nobody wants to study anything interesting. It's just what's ever in the, when I used to teach, I put on my, syllabus. I guarantee you an A. Just show up. Then smaller print, I'd say no test, no quiz, no papers, no textbook. And then smaller print, if you miss more than 3 classes, you fail, period, no excuses. And even smaller print, if you ask me whether this is on the quiz, you immediately, right? And then in smaller print, everyone has to study together. There are no heroes, we're all our relations. And, the big thing was, I guarantee you an A. And, the first day I'd have like 500 kids that had to give me an auditorium. And I, get everyone to stand up and count like 1 to 7, all the 1s here, 2s here, right? And the people who couldn't, do that, they're in a line and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you said 8, I said, okay, you can go. If you couldn't even count off to 7, then see you later, bye. And I was not ever a tenured professor. I was there doing research, but I'd be there long enough where people would say, we got 1 semester where we need somebody to teach intro to history, intro to psychology, intro to environmental science, whatever. And I'd say, sure, $100, pay me $100 a class and give me a student assistant. I'm your boy. And, then I would not have any quizzes, tests, papers, so didn't have to do anything except talk like I'm talking to you guys. Back again, that's right. I told you I'd be back. 11, 11, 11, So, anyway. Again, the most interesting doorway for us to look at, I'm trying to figure out strategies. So we need to go look at not the all these UFO conferences and alternative this conferences, they all have websites. They all have their stuff, their little conferences up on the YouTube. So we don't have to really pay to go see them. One of the interesting things is you meet people when you go to those things. But, it's like going to Comic-Con. Do you really want to meet those folks? Or just watch their things, and the ones who are interesting, get their websites and email them. And, I would like to start, I keep speaking of, I'm all about strategy. So we need a 501c3 to enable the powers that shouldn't be to kind of fund and connect us. And we can inject our point of view into them and change them, be that pebble in the pond to be the tsunami. And that's the Humanities Artist Trust International, right? That's the umbrella. Then we have a number of little entities. One called the Institute for Aesthetically Adept and Appropriate Technology, because to go into universities, hey, you got to be an institute. Oh, you're an institute. Hey, oh, sure, you can come and lecture, right? Then we need to have the traveling video art circus. That's the carnival that we travel the road, right? And then we need a thing called the freely inquiring society. So when we travel around, we can leave, like Johnny Appleseed, little seeds of this society. The Masons have the Masonic Lodge, the other morons wear funny clown hats. We can have funny clown hats, but we need structures of this, and they don't even have to exist. They just have to be familiar enough for everyone to invite us in. And we don't even need to go there. I've really kind of come to Jesus on the fact we can do this all on a platform, right? But we kind of, and that's why I put up Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Alba, but we kind of have to expand, and I want to do another channel where I'm, Puddinhead Puji, or something, the soupy sales for the 21st century. And, I want to put up a lot of these things. I need your help. Anybody who wants to have fun doing this. And if we make new things, I've already forgot all of the pins for all of my stuff. This channel, my Gmail account, I can dig them up. I wrote them in notebooks, and I don't throw those away. I just have to find them. But we are at this is another, like I said, window of 40 days and 40 nights. Yes, it's not linear. We have all the time we need, but we, got to start. We are starting, with each of these chats, we have started. Let's see. I have two brother law degrees, and I know more than them. I don't even know the difference between lawful and legal. and that's the legal. I worked for desperate lawyers for 10 years, and you are so frigging right, Jamie. Mighty day. Yep. Legalese. And I worked for Ralph Nader, and he sent a group of us. Everybody was a lawyer but me, and we went to Columbia for this lecture with this guy who had been a state Supreme Court judge. And I've told this story before. And we all are there, and we were told not to be late, to get there early before he shows up. We're all dutifully sitting in this lecture hall. This guy comes in with his assistant, and he has his assistant write in like 2-foot letters the word justice, right? And then he says, erase it. No, first he goes, see this word? I never want to hear any of you say this word ever again. And then he has the guy erase it, and then he draws a dollar sign. And he said, that's what the law is about, monetizing the suffering of people. Yes, schools are the induction center, but that's like, it's also, ground zero. I mean, that's where we have to go to shake things up, not go, ooh, we can't go there. That's why I spent almost 20 years in those things. But I did not, matriculate. I did not, bend over to become a tenured professor. No, I was a scholar, and I was there to do research, whatever college I was at. And I went around and found the most interesting professors with the most open minds and the most interesting students who wanted to learn, like I did when I was a youngster. And that's why we have to go to these places with our carnival. And every college has a student activities fund, that really needs to spend every nickel of that fund every semester. So we can have a real serious revenue stream by just going there and, breaking the mold, and they'd pay us to do it. Wouldn't you guys like to end your boring, crappy lives. Now I'm not saying that your lives are boring or crappy, but you know what I'm saying. If you're like me, homeless guy doing whatever he wants, well, hey, then it's kind of exciting. Yes, legalese, language that not twist. It'd be okay if it was twisted. It breaks. And that's why the whole concept of language, it's all about separation. And we have to bring all our relations together, Yes, Carnegie-inspired education, yep. But at least he gave money to culture. And casting spell, that's what spelling and grammar is. It's casting spells. Anyway, so here we are, and I have about 49% of my battery, so we'll talk until the thing starts screaming at me saying it's going to crash. So this, I jumped on here because it's warm, it's nice, before I have to go up and run my little errands and then go back up to this mountaintop. I want us to prepare ourselves for this evening's chat around 7 p.m., where we can start to parse, strategize, all the little things we can do. And, we don't have to all go to one place. No, we can do all this in our individual little communities. And in actuality, doing it that way via this platform is way more powerful. But we kind of have to brand it on a certain level, right? I mean, we can call it Dreamy. I use Dreamy Dreamland because, back in the day when I hung out with the Aborigines, that's where they were at. That's what they called it. And that was 1977. And it's quite interesting. Since I started this in May, everybody and his brother is dreamy this, dream time, dream this, dream that. And you Puddin' Pop Pootie Boy. And that guy who's the most watched YouTuber, he is the basically Andy Warhol of the time. And I knew Andy pretty good. I worked for him. Are we back? Or am I still unconnected? If not, maybe the powers that be are telling me to go run my errands, and we'll see each other this evening at 7 p.m. Anybody there? One of the boys. He sure was. Yep. And we're not going to be one of the boys. What we are is all our relations. There is going to be no other. There is going to be no separation. We're all going to be together because that's the only way this is going to work. We have to break the back of the military, industrial, education, banking, et al. System. We have to break the back of the Babylon bankers. And this is the time. This is perfect time, and it comes around. It's like Christmas. It comes around every so often. And the window is open right now, the 40 days and 40 nights. We're still got the window wide open. 333, my favorite number. Yep. So here we go. So we're at 15 minutes and 15 seconds. So a few more minutes of this conversation. Anybody got, Mr. Dragon, lay it on us about 333, if you would. Or, let's see. Oh, ho. Yes, the harmonic numbers. Yep, of coming together. Yes, 969. Oh, somebody trying to bother. Yes, 1111, 2222, 3333, 444. Yep. As you can see, people are really okay. So if I keep getting disconnected, and blah blah blah, and they knock me off for good. Not no, they won't knock me off for good, but disconnect this link right at this moment. We'll get back together tonight at 7. But for now, let's keep talking. Mr. Ride, that's the best thing you can do. Just keep giving them love, giving them the things that you can give them, the physical stuff like the snowsuit and a sandwich, cup of coffee, and constant support, spiritual support from your heart. Have them feel the warmth of your heart. And that's the only thing that people who are addicted that's the only thing you can break them with. Just don't give up. They die, well, they've gone to the other side. And it's all all of the things in our lives are our choice. We come here within the context of experience and making choices. Yes, our names are important. It led. Yes, Mr. Scallion. And the thing is, we don't have to scare anybody. We don't have to go on about blah, 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 right? What we had to do is develop alternative aesthetics to blah, blah, blah. Casanova, with Donald Sutherland, that's a great film. Thank you, my friend, for noticing. Yep, there's some great directors, Stanley Kubrick, Fellini. I mean, those guys stood out because, Spielberg, Lucas, J.J. Abrams, they're really good, but they have bent over 100%. Now, they, kind of say, well, I'm trying to tell the story. Well, they do a pretty good job, and they do give a lot of information. And that's why I keep saying that anybody who can lay some stuff down, even if they are sock puppets, it's okay. They're doing their best. And we need to send them energy that will break them through. Very person, a book. Well, there's so many great books. I don't know where to start. There's a great book, but a buddy of mine wrote when I was at Cornell, and he was just another puddinhead like me, and he wrote a book called Fool on the Hill. And his name is Matt Ruff. And his first novel was super duper successful, and then he tried over and over again, not so much. And you'll find people, they just like Albert Einstein, theory of relativity, he had a dream about it. He woke up and he said, "Oh man, I gotta write this down." And when we are in dream time, we can have things come to us. And that's why I keep saying, come on, kids, 20% more, 30% out, right? Because that's when we're in dream time and we go into our Akashic record and then go on into our superconscious mind, we can access anything, right? So go look at that book, Fool on the Hill by Matt Ruff. And then he wrote a bunch, and not everyone was, he tried too hard. That's the whole thing. Don't try too hard. Note taken. Okay, let's see. Oop-a-doop-boo. Red ink. Yeah, baby. In your heart, yes. Home of the beloved. And that's what's beautiful about our chats, because we are all home, like this song. We're home for the holidays, in the beloved. And we don't have to wait for Christmas. And last night, a lot of you, all of you, you did it, and a lot of you were like awake. So I was pretty, last night, the last few nights, last 5 or 6 or 10 nights have been pretty all amazing. And why I do the ones in the morning and, why I do the 1 or 2 during the day is like to catch your, hey, and you think about it from that point on until we go and chat it, in the evening. And so it kind of prepares you guys, gets you to step up, and you're doing a good job. So the thing that we're going to be focusing on is how to break the separation, how to bring us together in all our relations. And I want you to think, as we've been talking here right now, about how words are powerful and important. So, in Dune, when they would yell, "Ah," and things would blow up, we need to find the specific words. And you guys you're taking the ride, Mr. Ride. Singularity completion. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of there, but it isn't the quintessential thing that we all have to resonate and go, oh yeah. It's like the problem with things like singularity completion is like, it's a word that these powers that shouldn't be kind of take and kind of twist, just like law, and twist it to a place where, oh, that sounds right, like liberal or progressive. No, liberals are people who are guilty about being racist. So we have to find, so that's why Dreamy Dreamland, I mean, that is almost a quintessential thing, So, and I just keep throwing stuff out, hoping it'll stick on the wall. But I know, and you guys have experienced that, I just keep going on, and it shamanically, just vibrates things to the point where you guys come up with something that really resonates with you. Yeah. And I'm not even preparing you. It's not like a cheeseburger. I'm just kind of shaking a tree, just like Buddy does. Buddy does it way better than I do. I'm agree. I just keep going on with stories. Buddy always goes straight to the meat of the matter. Oh, boo, boo, boo. Have a hamburger. No. I've had all the food. I'm having today. This is about when I stop eating, and then I go to bed at 10. And if you do that, go to bed without anything in your gut, or in your colon, that's what brings you good health. And I drink about 2 or 3 glasses of water with lemon in it, and so my body is alkaline rather than acidic, and it sets me up for having really vital dreams because I'll sleep from 10-ish to about 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and then I got to get up and take a piss, and then when I go back to bed, I sit there for a moment and visualize what I want to have a lucid dream about, lay my little head on my pillow, and bingo, there I am, I was, again, what I lucid dreamed about 4:30 my time, Eastern Standard Time, was basically I was sitting around a campfire at the Deep Green with all of you, and people, it's so dark there, and there's many paths that come out of the woods, and people of great stature kept coming out and talking to us and reading us and vibrating us up to our higher potential. And so that's what I dreamt about between 4 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. And then I got up, got dressed, came down the hill. I'm like a hobbit. I had my first breakfast, and this, people would call this lunch, but it was really my second breakfast. Yeah, we all have a great time. And we will, this spring, whoever can make it. I'm going back. I was out there in the Deep Green between May 1st and the second week of October, pretty much the whole time. And I had to come back because we had our first real frost, and I knew, oops, I'm not going to survive this. So I came back up to the school, and I had a bunch of, I had to have my eyes operated a couple times, and I went to my endocrinologist, and he said I was he keeps saying, you're the best, you're the healthiest dead guy I know. My podiatrist says, I can't believe you're walking. You've got no bones connecting your feet to your ankles. How do you do that? You know how I do it? You guys spark me up, energize me, give me hope and love, and it carries me forth. I take that baby step, because we're doing it together. And none of that kind of crap is because forget about the Chinese. We spend 40% more on defense, on weapons, than the rest of the world combined. Russia, our closest next adversary, spends only 10% of that. All of the stuff he was talking about, hypersonic this and, nuclear that. And, well, that shit is like 1950s technology. We got stuff out there that'll, look what they're doing to California, right? So the strongest thing there is love, co-creation, Forget China, all we have to do is send China love, and everybody else, everyone who's, when they go to the UN, we just need to sit down wherever we are and co-create love together and focus it on them. It'll be stronger than any friggin', energy weapon in space. Yes. Chance favors the prepared mind. And that's what I was speaking about earlier. The two, there's the look at, the view of the scholastic world, that the world is all about chance. It's just, spin of the roulette wheel. But if you understand that we've all made a choice and we prepared to come here and we are doing what we said we'd do, right? So there's no problem. We just have to keep our eye on the ball, hit the nail square with the hammer, and that hammer is the only hammer that really is love's co-creation. We just go at it with that, not a problem. And then, start these little projects that can weasel their way into their subconscious, weasel their way into their organizational structures, weasel their way into, their fear, and turn it into sun drops and lollipops, I mean, and that's our job, you know. And we don't have to become them. We can, on our own terms, take care of this. We just have to break the hold of separation and bring forth the realization of all our relations. Because we are all our relations, I'm not so much doing it for you, I'm doing it not for, but with us. Yep. And there are a lot of things like the Karma Accelerator in Malibu. There's Adamski's, I forget what he called it, but it's this little domey thing. And there's another device like that, between Black Mountain and Asheville, North Carolina. There are a lot of, and then there are all the frickin' pyramids that are all over our planet. Sweetie, I'm on the chat. Can I call you back in about 5-10 minutes? Okay. Talk to you later. About 5 or 10. Oh, boo. Anyway, so here we are, 32 minutes and 47 seconds. So why don't we, because there's somebody I want to talk to, why don't we get back together at 7, and I will leave us, or no, none of that. I will disconnect. No, I will go at 33 and 33 seconds. And so here it is, 33 and 6-7 seconds. I love you guys. Go back and reread this, and I will talk to you at 7 p.m., right? Let's see. Yep. 369-111-222. That's right, Mr. Dragon. And we're coming up to this 33. And I love you. Go, woohoo! Yep, take care. I'll speak to you guys at around 7 p.m., right? Okay, I love you guys. Do.